What's going on, guys? My name is Richard, and welcome back to another weekly watch list video sponsored by Marketsmith. As always, we'll go through the fundamentals and technicals of all the stocks on my focus list, and there aren't too many steps that I was comfortable putting on this list for this week, and that's because last week, of course, last Thursday and Friday were a little bit iffy in terms of the market, so the leaders, I think, definitely need some time to consolidate those moves and then start moving up once again. And before we get into the analysis, I do want to give a brief update on the stock market contest results. At this time, I'm still working through the different weeks and calculating everybody's performance, and I'll be posting the Excel sheets as soon as I have those available, and then I would let you guys kind of check my work, especially your own performance, and once that's done, I imagine I'll be releasing the contest winners very shortly, probably midweek or so. So with that said, let's get into the video, and to start things off, we've got AMD, and overall it's still in this kind of consolidation here. And taking a look at the earnings and sales, you can see excellent growth here. Last quarter earnings up 125%, sales up 26%, and pre-tax margins up 11.4%. And in terms of annual EPS estimates, you can see in 2020 it's supposed to grow 72%, and in 2021 a further 49%, with the revisions up as well. The EPS rating is a 9.9, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution is a B+, and the composite rating is a 99. And looking at the fund ownership, there's a nice increasing trend. And you have three high-quality funds, JP Morgan, Harbor Mid-Cap Growth, and Fidelity Contra Fund in there as well. And taking a look at the chart, you can see that the RS rating is a very strong 97, and the RS line is basing along with the price. And as for the technical setup, you can see that there was a little bit of damage done late last week, but so far it held this low and had a nice upside reversal on Friday, and you can see that from this orange bar down here. And if you don't know what an upside reversal is, I'll have a link to a video I made about that popping up right now. It's a very helpful setup, especially for swing traders. And often the best setups happen shortly after the next day or the next few days after an upside reversal. So I want to see it retake that 21 EMA, potentially have a green dot early next week, and eventually take out the pivot from here and then break out into all-time highs above, let's see, 94.28. And I think that 100 could be a kind of magnet for this if it really gets going, so keep an eye out for that. But as with all the leaders, it would be pretty normal if AMD keeps on going and finds support at the 50 SMA. So that's AMD, and next up we've got Apps, which is a former stock of the week. If you want more background on what this company actually does, go ahead and check out the video popping up right now. But overall, you can see it's an earnings gap up, and then it moved up, and now is consolidating. And looking at the earnings and sales, you can see very excellent growth the past few quarters. Last quarter earnings up 160%, sales up 93%, and pre-tax margins up 21.9%. And you can see from the annual estimates, there's a lot of growth expected. In 2021, it's supposed to be up 130% and a further 26% with the revisions up as well. The EPS rating is a 77, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is an A, the accumulation distribution is an A, and the composite rating is a very strong 99. And looking at the fund ownership, there's excellent growth here, but you do not have any high-quality funds investing into this company. And taking a look at the chart, you can see it's a little bit choppy the past few weeks, but overall the RS rating is a very strong 99, and it's holding that earnings gap up. So as for the technical step that I would use to trade this stock, I want to see it retake the 21 EMA, although it might have just done that on Friday. It just took it over by 1 cent, so I want to see it hold that key moving average, and it could have a lower Bollinger Band bounce early next week and potentially a continuation of this move. I want to see it take out this resistance level at about 27.92 and eventually continue on into new all-time highs above 29.56. So that's my plan for Apps, and overall I think this has a lot of momentum behind it. You've got the up-down volume ratio of 1.7, that's very strong, and hopefully it can continue this strong performance early next week. Next on the list, we've got CELH, or Celsius Holdings Inc., and looking at the earnings and sales, you can see excellent growth this past quarter, up 167%, sales up 86%, and pre-tax margins up 5.2%. And in terms of annual estimates for EPS, you can see in 2020 it is supposed to decrease 50%, but in 2021 it's supposed to pick right back up 125%, and the revisions are up as well. The EPS rating is only a 38, the group RS is a B+, the SMR rating is an A, the accumulation distribution is an A, and the overall composite rating is a 92. And taking a look at the fund ownership numbers, you can see a nice increasing trend, but once again, you do not have any high quality funds investing into this stock. And the chart looks pretty similar to apps. It had this earnings breakout and then it moved up, but now it's consolidating and pulling back to those key moving averages. And overall, the RS rating is a 99, and the RS line has been decreasing along with the price. And as for the entry setup, I want to see a continuation from this upside reversal and green dot early next week. And I want to see it retake that key 21 EMA, and then you could add on as it breaks above around 20. And once again, at this resistance level at about 22.36. So that's how I would play CELH, and I like how it held the bottom of the earnings gap up, and you do not want to see it move down here, especially not below the key 50-day moving average. Next on my list, we've got Etsy, and this was included in the S&P 500 just this past Friday, so that could provide a boost early next week. And looking at the earnings and sales, you can see excellent growth here. Last quarter earnings up 436%, sales up 137%, and pre-tax margins up 26.2%. And there's a lot of growth expected as well in terms of annual EPS, up 154% in 2020 and a further 13% in 2021, with the revisions up as well. EPS rating is a 44, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution is a C+, and the overall composite rating is a 96. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend over the past 2 years. And you do have 3 high-quality funds investing in it as well. And taking a look at the chart, you can see it's been moving up quite strongly. And since it hit this high at 141.41, it's been pulling back and is below that key 50-day moving average, but it had a nice upside reversal this past Friday. And overall, taking a look at what technical setup I would use, I want to see it retake that key 50-day moving average, and that would be kind of my first scale in point. Then as it breaks above this high at 129.94, and then you could scale as it breaks above this level and eventually into new all-time highs above 141.41. So that was Etsy, and next up on the list, we've got FSLY. And looking at the earnings and sales, you can see decent growth in terms of revenue. And last quarter, earnings are up 118%, sales up 62%, and pre-tax margins up 2.4%. And looking at the annual EPS, you can see it's not supposed to be profitable in 2020. It is supposed to break through in 2021. The EPS rating is a 66, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is a D, the accumulation distribution is a B, and the overall composite rating is a 94. And from the fund ownership numbers, you can see it's doubled over the past 2 years, but you do not have any high-quality funds investing into this stock. Taking a look at the chart, you can see that there are a whole bunch of flaws here. You've got this big gap down on volume, which is a red flag, and you also have a potential head and shoulders pattern, although the volume is higher on the left side or the left shoulder. So if you decide to trade this, be careful, practice good risk management, and personally, I would not touch this until it breaks above the key 50-day moving average and ideally moves above 100. So as for the entry setup, I want to see, as I said, a break above the 50-day moving average on volume, and I would add as it breaks above this level right here at about a high of 99.69, and hopefully fills this gap right here. And as for the overall chart pattern, it is a potential undercut of this low and rally, which is a bullish pattern, but once again, it also is a potential head and shoulders top, so be careful. So that is FSLY, and next up we've got Fiverr. And looking at the earnings and sales, you can see decent revenue growth, and last quarter earnings were up 163%, sales up 82%, and pre-tax margins up 7.7%. And looking at the annual estimates, you can see in 2020 it's just supposed to be profitable, and it's supposed to grow 232% in 2021, with the revisions up as well. The EPS rating is a 68, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is a C, accumulation distribution is a B-, and the overall composite rating is a 98. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend over the past 2 years. You do have 2 high-quality funds investing into this stock. And taking a look at the chart, you can see that the overall RS rating is a very strong 99, and the RS line is basing along with the price, but you did have some wild action late last week. And as for the entry setup, you can see that this is a potential high tight flag, and the standard pivot is at 123.33. So overall, I want to see this stock stay above the key 50-day moving average and is a potential undercut and rally, taking out this low at 102.42 late last Friday and then moving up on above average volume. So I do want to see some consolidation here to see it tighten up a little bit, and then I think it would be prime for an entry. So that was Fiverr, and next up we've got HZNP or Horizon Therapeutics. And looking at the earnings and sales, you can see there's decent growth here, but earnings were down 18%, sales were up 44%, and pre-tax margins were up 38.3%. And looking at the annual EPS estimates, you can see in 2020 it's supposed to grow 51% and a further 52% in 2021, although the revisions are down. The EPS rating is a 72, the Group RS is a B, SMR rating is a B, accumulation distribution is a B+, and the overall composite rating is a very strong 96. And looking at the fund ownership numbers, you can see a nice increasing trend, and you also have two high-quality funds in there, Columbia and Fidelity. And taking a look at the chart, you can see that it's currently in this nice price shelf, and the RS line is basing along with the price. And it also had a nice upside reversal right near the 21 EMA last week, and the overall RS rating is a 97. And as for the entry setup, I want to see a continued move up, potentially a green dot early next week, and eventually a breakout above this pivot at 77.36, and a breakout into new all-time highs above 78.93. Next on my list, we've got OTRK, and taking a look at the earnings and sales, you can see it's not yet profitable, but it does have very strong revenue growth going back the past few quarters. Last quarter, sales were up 124%, although pre-tax margins were down 23.2%. And it's not yet profitable at this time, and you can see there's no estimates for 2020 or 2021. The EPS rating is a very poor 11, the Group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is not available, the accumulation distribution is an A-, and the overall composite rating is only a 79. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend over the past 2 years, but you do not have any high-quality funds investing into this stock. And overall, you can see it's a potential high-tide flag, advancing 106% from the prior pivots from this cup. And overall, you can see it's basing along with the RS line, and the overall RS rating is a very strong 99. And as for the entry setup, I want to see a breakout above this point of resistance right here at 77.63, and eventually a breakout into all-time highs above 79.13. And I really like these big up volume days, and overall the up-down volume is a very strong 2.4. So that is OTRK, and next up we've got Pinterest. And Pins was a former stock of the week, so if you want more information about this company, go ahead and check out the link above popping up right now. And overall, looking at the earnings and sales, you can see excellent growth a few quarters ago, but it has slowed down somewhat, although the reaction to this earnings report right here really provides you everything you need to know about this company. And looking at the annual EPS, you can see in 2020, it's just supposed to be profitable, but in 2021, it's supposed to get a big boost of 999%. And the EPS rating is only a 13, the Group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is a C, the accumulation distribution is a B+, and the overall composite rating is a 78. And checking out the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend over the past 2 years, and you do have two high-quality funds investing into this company. And as for the chart, you can see it's in a nice price shelf at this moment. It's tried to break out a few times above this kind of 38 and this 40 level, but overall you can see it's basing along with the RS line, and the overall RS rating is a decent 95. And as for the entry setup, I want to see a green dot early next week and a takeout of this prior high at 39.64 on above average volume. So that is Pins, and last on our list we've got TSM, which if you just looked at the chart, you wouldn't even really know that we had this huge pullback late last week. And as for the earnings and sales, you can see excellent growth here. Last quarter earnings up 93%, sales up 36%, and pre-tax margins up 42.5%. And looking at the annual EPS estimates, you can see in 2020 it's supposed to grow 44% and a further 6% in 2021, with revisions up as well. The EPS rating is a 93, the Group RS is a B, SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution is a B, and the overall composite rating is a 97. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend, and you have one high-quality fund, Fidelity Contra Fund, investing into this company. And looking at the chart, you can see it's in this nice price shelf, and the RS line is basing along with the price, and the overall rating is a 93. So as for the entry setup, I want to see a breakout above this pivot right here at 82.71, or potentially a green dot or a breakout into all-time highs above this high at 84. So that's my plan for TSM, and overall this is one of my top 3 setups, along with OTRK and also Etsy. And overall for this week, I was trying to find stocks that were bucking the trend and showing relative strength versus the market, and weren't really affected from the market weakness late last week. So I hope you guys found this video useful, and if you did, please go ahead and leave a like down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys in future videos.